Uh, I think I mentioned in my last video that I'll be trying to make these videos a bit more often now than I have been in the past. So the goal is maybe once every 2 months or maybe once every month, as opposed to once in like 8 to 12 months or like a couple of years for that matter. So in light of that, yeah, I'm making this video now. Welcome, and it's a really nice morning here in Sydney, and I'm just about to head off to work. It is a work from office day. Okay, so in this video I'll talk about the state of the property market here in Sydney, or Australia for that matter, and then I'll share a bit about some of the things that I've been doing with the use of AI tools at my workplace, and then how what I'm improving the speed at which we deliver. So cool, let's get started. All right, so now the state of the property market. So for those of you who are here in Australia, you would have known that the government has made some changes recently. Changes to what we call negative gearing, as well as the capital gains tax discounts. And in addition to all of that, the Reserve Bank of Australia has also increased the interest rate. So there's been a few interest rate hikes, and from what I hear, maybe there's like one or two more coming. Scary. It is a bit scary, seriously, but it is what it is, and this is the market that we live in. Now, how have these changes impacted the property market? Now, I do keep in touch with some of the real estate agents that I know, and based on what they tell me, the market has slowed down 100%. So previously, if it was something that if it was a property that they would sell in maybe 1 or 2 weeks, it now takes about 4 or 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks. So it moves slower, and there is less competition because these changes that the government have introduced have completely not completely, have really limited investor interest in these property purchases. So yeah, it is having an impact. I mean, this is more or less what the government wanted when they introduced those changes. If you want to know more about the changes to negative gearing or capital gains discount, please leave a comment. I'm happy to make another video, or you can just do an online search on Google or Bing or whatever it is that you use, and then you should be able to find some information on that one. So yeah, as my friends in real estate told me, that things are moving a bit slower and there is less competition. Now, this is interesting because I think the way I see it, it also presents a really interesting opportunity for those who've been wanting to get in on the slice of the property market. So if you are someone that has been thinking about getting into the property market, whether it's your first investment or buying a really nice owner-occupied home for you and your family to live in, I reckon this is not a bad time. I mean, go for it, seriously. If you've got the opportunity to do so, I'd say take it. Of course, this depends on having a chat with your family and your loved ones and all that. And then, if you've got the capacity to do so, please go for it. It is a market downturn, 100%, but it is also an opportunity for you to get in. And in terms of those who are thinking of investing and you are worried about capital gains discounts, or the fact that the government sort of made changes to that, think about it this way. Say you've got the capital to make your purchase, and you make the purchase, and a few years down the line when you want to sell it, and then you've got capital gains on that property. Obviously, this is on the fact that the property will appreciate. Don't worry about the CGT discount and the changes to the capital gains discount that the government has made. So if you are in the position, if you invest and you sell your properties a few years later, because of these changes, maybe this is just an arbitrary number, maybe you'll make like $400,000 as opposed to $500,000, which would have been before these changes. But still, That's $400,000 more than what you would by not doing anything. So I would say, sorry, let me rephrase that. That's still $400,000 more than what you would by doing something. If you choose not to do anything, of course, it's your choice, but then that just means that you will miss out. So my point is that don't let the changes to CGT put fear in you and not going ahead with the investment that you've been thinking about. So of course, if you need to know, if you need any more info on the Sydney property market, or for that matter, just a little bit of regional Victoria or Queensland, regional Queensland for that matter, feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to share my knowledge with you. So, like I've said in the past, I'm always happy to talk about this. This is one of the things that I do enjoy in addition to my work. So, feel free to reach out, or if you've got the means to do so, maybe get a buyer's agent. Okay, now that's enough about property. Now let's talk a little bit about my day job. And so for those of you who know, I do work at an insurance company. And most recently, I've switched to a new project. And this new project is really interesting. To be perfectly honest, this feels like walking into a system design interview round at a big tech company all day, every day. Because what I'm working on in this project is a event-driven application. This is like an event-driven GIS platform. So it's a geographical information system. Then there's so many moving parts to it. There's a whole bunch of technologies in there to ensure that this platform works. And as confusing as it is, or as convoluted as it may seem at first go, it all just works. It all just falls in place and it just clicks. It just works. So yeah, there's, I mean, how do I put this? So let me think about some of the things. So for example, you've got relational databases, you've got stored procedures, you've got a lot of querying, then you've also got managing state, ETL state, or then we've got the queues, then we've got we've got the whole coordinate system. And this is not the GPS coordinate, this is web marketer. This is like like the zoom level, and then so you can do some reading on that, or like web marketer. This is one of the coordinate system that's used by Google Maps and that. So what this is essentially a platform which is, say, Google Maps, but overlaid with everything that we care about in our company, the information that's very relevant to us, and the way that positions us to best help our customers. It has been maintained. It has been maintained well. It's working. It's not that old, and like I said, there's like everything just falls in place. Now, starting on this project, there's quite a few. There was a steep learning curve, as you can imagine. But in addition to that, I saw that there are certain aspects of the project that I could improve on. And one of the things that was lacking was, given just the way how everything came together, and it was a very startup, the product was built with a very startup mindset. It was built to deliver. It was built in a way that, for the people that were building it, were just accelerating towards delivery. So now, as a result of that, as they did their job, they did the job and they delivered the product. But as a result of that, the code quality, the code is good, but it's just more that it was missing in certain areas, like quality assurance. So that means like unit tests. So unit tests was one of the areas that was a bit lacking, and I thought that I could improve upon that. And given that we've got AI tools like GitHub Copilot, I could definitely implement something that could bring the coverage up to a certain degree. So for that, I actually sat down one day and I gave it some thought, and I thought that and I came up with a plan to build a multi-agent workflow. So what this is, the multi-agent workflow involves a couple of agents. Like you've got say a reviewer or someone who checks the coverage, and someone who writes the test, and someone reviews and then sends it back to the person who sends it back to the agent that wrote the test, and so on and so forth. So it's a multi-agent workflow, and so you kickstart it and you give it like a certain number of what level you want the coverage to be, the unit test coverage to be, and it will bring it up to that point. And after I did that, the first round, my first implementation of it was good, but the problem was that some of the unit tests had a lot of bloat. So when AI tools write unit tests, they often pad it out and add like some, while import some unnecessary stuff and some unnecessary comments and so on and so forth. So I went back and I tweaked the agents and the workflow a little bit, and I implemented that. And so that worked, and the quality of the unit test that were generated were heaps better. And then I thought that, you know what, we do want visibility on what the agents are doing. So visibility, observability, whatever you want to call it. So I thought that, you know what, I modified it further to add some, to ensure that as the multi-agent workflow happens, there's also some logging that's going on at the same time in terms of what was generated, what was read, what tests were written, what was reviewed, what was sent back, and so on and so forth. So detailed logging, so it gives us something to look at and to know what the agents actually did. So this was this worked, and we still have it. We've got it in production now, and it's quite good. And this frees up the rest of the team to focus on other tasks and building features. Now we are always busy. We're always swamped with a ton of stuff to do. There's always so much to do that we simply don't have time for certain things that we would in ideal world. So yeah, this is alright. So like I said, I implemented. So it's a multi-agent workflow with, and one of the patterns that were implemented here that I've used here is LLM as a judge. As I've got an LLM judge who reviews the quality and the content of the unit test produced. So yeah, that's about it. Now, so my parting words for as this video comes to an end is that, look, for the property market, if you've been planning on doing something like that, or if you've been planning on purchasing a property, don't let these changes push you away. This is not a bad time. You've got less competition, and go for it. If there's any way I can help you, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you. Like I said before, my pain, your gain. I spent a lot of last year and most of this and some of early this year just going through this insane competition to get a property. But yeah, I'm happy to help. If you can learn from my experience, that'd be great. That'd be a good outcome for me. And if you are not already if you're an engineer and not already using some of these AI tools in your workplace, please go ahead. And also, what is important to know is try to read upon some of the generative AI patterns that are out there, because that will definitely help you, and it will improve the quality of the Gen AI solution that you've produced, that you implement. So that's it for now, and thank you very much for watching, and I wish you well and live long and prosper.